According to creation, God tells us at the end of day 6 in his assessment reported by Moses in Genesis, right? Tells us that everything was tov ma'od, in the whole and in the particulars, was good through and through. So there was no evil sown in there, and no seeds of evil presented anyway. It was entirely that departure from God that did that and was that sort of thing. Certainly, I think we'd encourage folks listening in, if you're thinking or find yourself thinking in Manichaean terms about some sort of, there's a force of good and there's a force of evil and we're caught here in the arena, that never has been plausible, but it certainly is not tenable after the coming of God in the flesh. Augustine would be a good person to read on that, especially in his Confessions in the early books, because of the way he applies the incarnation and God's word to something that troubled him in that notion. So in regard to the problem of evil, I've been restricting it to the problem of suffering, strictly speaking, not moral evil. And there, I think we have to agree that God actually did bring that suffering into the world personally. So for instance, after the fall of our greatest grandparents, the Lord specifically imposed the suffering that Adam in work and Eve in childbirth would have. Presumably, that's to leave us with nowhere else to go except to the gospel of the seed of the woman who would crush Satan's head.